Hello sir, I am Ajinkya. Warm welcome from COEP Team Impressions. And Impressions is our annual cultural festival which happens in December every year at Asia's third oldest engineering college, COEP Tech University. Every year before the main events, we host a range of events like this, a meet and greet with world-renowned creators. And today for this wonderful session, we have you, the nominee, Academy Award nominee and screenwriter of the Ice Age movie, Sir Michael J. Wilson. Hello. So the first question that came to my mind was, what got you into screenwriting and how did you decide that you wanted to pursue it professionally?
Screenwriting?
Yeah, screenwriting.
Well, I was an agent first in a mailroom at a very famous talent agency called the William Morris Agency.
Okay.
And I worked with a lot of writers there. And then I went over to CAA and I worked with a lot of writers there. And then I worked with a woman named Marcy Carsey who was doing the Cosby Show. And I learned a lot about scripts from Marcy and from Bill Cosby. And from there, I wrote a screenplay and that on my own, and that sold as a TV show to CBS. And that started in the path. But to be honest, the reason I was a writer was because when I was a little kid, I used to tell a lot of stories, like exaggerate a lot. And I ended up making a living doing that exact thing. Making things up. That's really what writers do, is they make up realities and they make up universes. And when you're a little kid, that's what you do. You make stuff up.
So the first script you wrote was taken up by CBS, like the very first script you wrote?
The first thing I wrote?
Yeah.
Was optioned by CBS. It was a script I wrote called Sydney, and an actress named Valerie Bertinelli, who was a big actress in the United States at the time, loved it. And the next thing I knew, I was producing a show on CBS, 13 episodes, and I'd never done it before.
Oh, that was
It was the greatest experience ever. It was incredible.
So when you were writing the script, did you ever think, oh, I'm getting out of ideas, this is not creative enough, this is not something new? So did you face those issues?
On Ice Age?
On the first script you wrote?
When I was writing.
On the first.
When I was writing Ice Age, I definitely. Oh, go ahead.
On the first script you wrote, the one for CBS. You didn't have any creative blocks or where you thought that, is this idea good? Is this idea different?
Yes, every morning. Absolutely. Every morning you wake up, and writing for me is about two things. Writing is about the art of compression, where you have to compress a large thing. You have to compress it into one sentence or one line, which is a visual for an image. It's compression. So one, writing is the art of compression. And two, writing is all about confidence. And if you have confidence, if you can trick yourself into thinking, this might actually be good.
Yes, of course.
Every day it's a battle. Compressing, because if you ever sat down to write a paper for school, you know, there's so many words. It can only be 3 pages and I've got 20 pages. And that is the art of compression. And you can have a narrative or a story, but can you compress it? Can you tell it? The perfect analogy for screenwriting is the art of telling a joke.
Art of telling a joke.
And when you tell someone a joke, that is the art of compression. It has a beginning, a middle, and a punchline.
Yes.
And it's tight. It's tight. And if it's too long, you lose your audience. So think about when you tell a joke, how tight that joke is. But when you hear a good joke, that is the art of compression. And that is really what screenwriting is all about, to be honest. It is different from writing a book. It's different from writing poetry. It's different from journalism. It's an art form in and of itself. And there are no rules for screenwriting. None. The only rule is you have to compress.
So
you have to put it in a tight box and get those images out and learn that one sentence can cost $1 million on the screen. Cut to Egypt, the pyramids, Cairo. That's $1 million right there. Or cut to my living room, a TV, a bed. Well, that's $10. But you know, imagination, compression, and confidence. Confidence is everything.
So when you're compressing something, like 𝐈𝐤 had a lot of sequels, right? So did you have all the ideas ready and you were like, oh, so first I'll compress this and take out this sequel, then I'll compress this and make this movie? Was it decided by you Pele or decided by you before, or did you like do it as the movies came out?
We only were doing the one. We didn't think there would be other ones. We did the one, and the idea behind that one story was just the idea, and it came out of research. If you're a writer, you have to do research if you're working in a real life canvas. If you're writing about, you know, Afghanistan, or you're writing about the Ice Age, or you're writing about the Russian Cold War, or you're writing about Shanatram, that show that's about India that's on Apple right now. That's an incredible book, and a lot of it is research. A lot of it is true about the prison system. So research for me in Ice Age, that was extraordinary, because I found out very quickly that the mammoths and the Neanderthals, they both lived at the same time. And I didn't know that. So Neanderthals were using the mammoths for soup, food, shelter, jackets, boots, jewelry. I mean, every single piece of the mammoth, even the feet, the pads on the feet, everything was used for coats, food, tusks for swords. And right away I thought, wow, Neanderthal, mammoth. And they're killing the mammoths every day. Killing them. What if a mammoth did something where the human was like, I owe you. I owe you. You got me. I can't kill you. You got my baby. That was the idea.
Okay. So were you the...
That's conflict. That's conflict. Conflict.
So were you the only screenwriter on this on the Ice Age project?
Was I what?
Were you the only screenwriter on the Ice Age project, or did you have to work with a team?
No. For 2 years, I was the only writer. It was a blank piece of paper, and I had 2 words: Ice Age, from 20th Century Fox.
Okay.
And a lot of writers pitched on Ice Age. But I somehow got the job based on that story I just told you. I like to kill mammoths, but you saved my baby. So that was 2 years of blank page. And then they went to New York to do it with a company called Blue Sky. And I couldn't go to New York because I had family obligations in California. I couldn't move to New York to continue another 2 years, right? So two more writers came on.
So many other ideas as well, right? How did you decide that this is the one I want to go with? This is the one I'm gonna submit to 20th Century Fox?
Right. Again, that's the art of compression. I had so many ideas. I don't know if you remember Diego is the saber-toothed tiger, and he's betraying Manfred and Sid. He's working for the bad guys, trying to get the baby to deliver to Soto, because Soto wants to eat the baby. That's the story. And in one of the original ideas, I remember going to the studio and pitching Diego. I said, he has a hobby. He's a singer. He likes to sing. And I started singing this song that I said Diego would sing, I believe in you. And they were like, no. So you have to compress and compress and eliminate the unnecessary. Think of a sculpture or a painting, and Picasso, he would stare at it and say, eliminate the unnecessary. So you have a block of marble, you eliminate everything that's not necessary, and then what appears is the statue, the art. After you move away and compress. That's my secret. Eliminate
that does
unnecessary.
Yes.
It's hard. You can have 100 ideas.
So what was the scene in Ice Age that you were most proud of? Was it the Diego scenes, or what was your favorite scene that you were like, oh, this has to be there for this movie? This is what is like the punchline. What was your punchline?
Yeah. I actually got the job, and a lot of writers were pitching for free on the 2 words, Ice Age. And I got the job because of the scene, my favorite scene in the movie. And I pitched it in my 3rd meeting, and it's the scene where it's the end of the movie, and the hunter is face to face with Manfred, and the hunter's gonna kill the mammoth, and you can forgive the torturer. So it's the torturer's love for the torturer. So when I give you back your baby, I'm saying, hey, I know you kill everybody and you want to kill.
Hello, sir. Yes.
Okay. Hey.
Hi.
Give me another question.
You
What's
had a
another?
nice instrument.
Is this going okay? Is this what you wanted?
Yeah, it's going good. So, so sir, you've also worked on the film The Tuxedo. You have also worked on the film The Tuxedo, right?
Tuxedo? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My big claim to fame is Ice Age, Flintstones, Tuxedo, Shark Tale.
So sir, Ice Age was an animated film and Tuxedo was a action movie. So, and in Ice Age you had to deal with animal characters, and in Tuxedo you had to see how humans communicate and interact. So how did you switch between them? How did you adapt from one to the other?
Well, after I wrote Ice Age, I wrote a script. It's called a spec script, where you just write it by yourself and no one's paying you. So it's on speculation. So in Hollywood they call it a spec script. It's on speculation. You're speculating and hoping somebody buys it. So I wrote a spec script and Spielberg bought it.
Oh.
And I met with Spielberg and he loved it and offered me movies at Amblin. And one of them was the Flintstones and one was the Tuxedo a little while later. And he had me meet Jackie Chan, who loved Ice Age. I couldn't believe it. And I went to Jackie Chan's house and we worked out, just like animation, we boarded out some of the stunts that Jackie would do. It's just like animation. Here's your frame, and here's Jackie, and then here comes the truck. Then next card, Jackie jumps on the truck. I mean, he would board the stunts. And it was a lot like animation, but the character was different. You get to go a little deeper in live action. That was such a great experience. He is such a nice guy and so funny. And he has so many broken bones. He's broken like every bone in his body. Seriously. Here's how Jackie Chan gets up. When he's sitting in a chair and he gets up, here's how he gets up. Oh, God! I am not joking. Everything. Anyway, but it was funny. The action was very much like animation, but then his character and the story very different from animation.
Yeah, because the conversations that
I like the Tuxedo.
So the conversation that happened in Ice Age would be different from the conversations that happened in the Tuxedo, right? Because in Ice Age, you had to research on mammals, and you had to actually research and talk about things the way these animals would talk, right? And in Tuxedo, you had to
live actions.
No, go ahead.
No, exactly. Actually, when you really think about it, at the end of the day, even with Shark Tale, when I was working with Will Smith on Shark Tale, that's animation, but that was just like working on a movie.
Okay.
You're pitching a character, You're trying to find ways the character changes. You're trying to find vulnerability. And Will Smith would always say, play the moment, play the moment, play the moment. And that's what you do in real movies. You know, don't just leave the room. Stop at the door. Stop. Look back. Say, I'll see you soon. I love you. You know, play the moment. That's what Will would always say. So instead of just saying he exits and closes the door. And you know what? Whether it's animation or live action, it's true. Play the moment is it's funny because it's the art of impression, but you want to stop and breathe for a minute and play the moment. It's a mind F like you wouldn't believe. Like, hurry up, but stop, but hurry up, but wait. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, screenwriters, you have to be insane to be a screenwriter. You really.
So was there any moment where you wanted to do one thing but the studios wanted to do something completely different? Were there conflicts between you and what the studio wanted to do?
Every day.
So how do you deal with that?
Well, like in Ice Age, you know in Ice Age when the mom dies?
Yes.
Roshan's mom dies. She jumps off the cliff holding her baby and she falls in the water. And then the shot is she's holding her baby, holding onto a rock. Cut to Manfred, sees her. Cut back to her. She's gone, and he picks up the baby. She's dead. She died. That was a huge fight with Fox.
Okay.
Killing the mom. They were like, no, she's not dead. I'm like, Bambi? What about Bambi? His dad was dead. I'm not inventing new ideas here. I just want to kill the mom. Why is that such a big deal? But it was, you know what? That was a huge problem for them. They were afraid, and they said, this is going to really emotionally, this could scar children. You could be scarring children emotionally. And I disagree, because I grew up with, Pinocchio, Cinderella, Snow White, these fairy tales. Rumpelstiltskin scared the shit out of me. Rumpelstiltskin, guess my name? Are you kidding me? That guy was insane. So I think you have to be scary. Not Halloween scary. You know what I mean? Not like R-rated. But you need a threat. You need to, listen, that was Ice Age. Cut 10 years later, Finding Nemo, or 15 years later, Finding Nemo opens, they kill the entire reef, and only Nemo is left. That's the opening of the movie, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not reinventing the wheel here, but that would be, to answer your question, that was a very difficult argument, and I won. I would not give up. You can't pour ketchup on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't pour ketchup on it. You say, no, she's not dead. Come on, she's dead. Kill her. She's dead. And then it's even sweeter. You're so funny. And then at the end, it's even greater because the dad has his baby, but he's alone. There's no mom. And that's great storytelling. You don't want the mom there too. You want to put a bow on everything? It's like, do kids have to win every award? Does everyone have to get a medal? No. Okay, sorry.
No, but the hint of emotional touch was actually very good in the Ice Age movie. All of us loved it. Also, sir, for my last question, what was your favorite Ice Age movie and why? Which one of them?
I wrote two of them, the first and the last one, with a lot of other writers who are brilliant writers. I'm not the only writer on any of them. But the dinosaur one, which I did not write, but when you meet Buck, and he's down there, and all the dinosaurs are down there, I think that is one of the funniest sequences when you meet Buck, and he's talking on a cell. I didn't write this, I just think it's hilarious. He's talking on a rock, and he's pretending it's a cell phone, and he's talking.